we've got season 2, episode 3 of Invincible here, and we're really picking up on exciting moments from the comics. Mark is now off at college, and there's literally a scene that they took, like, basically word for word from the comics into the show, because Mark and Amber, now that they're off at college together, they decide to consummate their relationship, and it starts with them, like, you know, trying to do that stuff, but then, like, the narrator he's like, well, they're doing their thing, why don't we go off somewhere else? And, like, that's literally how it happened in the comics. In the comics, when Mark and Amber hook up, the little narrator box says, well, let's be decent and give them time to themselves, and let's go off into space to learn about Alan the alien instead. So we get an episode that's kind of dedicated to Alan the alien and, like, his whole backstory and what he's been doing, looking for planets that have champions who are strong enough to potentially fight the Viltrumites. And so we're getting a lot of movement on that part of the story. But this episode, so every episode of Invincible has that whole thing where, like, the credits starts to roll, but then, like, after 5 seconds, more scenes happen. This happens halfway through the episode. They literally do the fake credits halfway through the episode. So, like, when they do, because Alan's story ends before the credits roll, but then it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and I was just like, wow, this, I was kind of in the mindset of just expecting a little bit more. So I think that choice was a little weird, but maybe it was because they were treating the Alan story as, like, a kind of like a mini episode. Like, he even gets his own title card. Instead of Invincible, it says Alan the alien. So maybe that's why they did it that way. I don't know. It felt a little weird there, but it looks like we're getting some really big movement on finding out more about the plans of the Viltrumites for galactic conquest and the growing movement in the galaxy to try and fight them. And I'm really excited to see how that gets brought back to Earth with Mark and everyone. But there's a big moment that happens at the end of this episode that I'm gonna have to talk about it next week because I can't spoil it. But if you've read the comics, you'll know about it. One thing that I will bring up, though, is there is a comic within the story where Mark is a big fan of a comic called Seance Dog, who just looks like Doctor Strange but with a dog head. And in the comics, it was Science Dog, and I don't remember exactly what Science Dog looked like in the comics, but I'm wondering if they changed it because of, like, if there was, like, some rights issues with the name Science Dog. Like, I don't know if there was something where, like, they couldn't copyright Science Dog or somebody else held the copyright for Science Dog. I'm actually gonna Google Science Dog right now because, okay, there's, like, Robert Kirkman actually ended up writing, like, a comic book for Science Dog, but I'm wondering if because he wrote that as a comic, if it's got, like, a separate rights issues that they decided not to pay for here. I don't know. It seems just a little weird that they changed the comic that Mark is a fan of for the show. It's not really obvious to me why they did that, but it kind of, Seance Dog, it plays a relevant role to this episode, so that's why I brought it up. Actually, I guess, sure, we'll go ahead and talk about it, because I saw Axel say it in chat, but let's get this up here. So if you see the spoilers tag down below, now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the ending of Invincible, and I will take down the spoiler tag once I'm done. If you don't want to be spoiled, you can mute until the spoilers go away. But yes, at the end of this episode, Mark goes to another planet full of bug aliens, and Omni-Man is there as the ruler of that planet. Axel said you didn't expect to see our Omni-Man so early. Yeah, I was honestly, I knew that we were going to see Omni-Man again because, like I said, I've read the comics, so I just wasn't sure how they were going to pace everything, and I wasn't expecting them to bring him back this early. I thought we probably weren't going to see him again until, like, the season finale, but it looks like they really want to get moving on that next part of the story, which I guess also makes sense just because Omni-Man is such a popular character among the fan base, that bringing him back sooner rather than later, I can understand that. I really, really am looking forward to the further development of Nolan's character in the show. Axel says, is Seth Rogen dead? So Alan the Alien, he does get the absolute shit kicked out of him by a couple of Viltrumites, but I will say that no, he is not dead. Yeah, and yes, Alan the Alien is voiced by Seth Rogen, which I have to say, like, I know he's like one of the main producers on the show, so of course he was able to put his finger on the scale and who got chosen to be Alan the Alien, but I also just think Seth Rogen is a great choice for Alan the Alien, because Alan the Alien in the comics has always just been a dude. He's just a guy. He's just a cool, just dude. And Seth Rogen can easily just play a dude. So I think Seth Rogen is really well suited to playing Alan. And no, he is not dead. Alan is probably my favorite character in Invincible, and we're going to see quite a bit more of him.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like, and subscribe, and ring the bell. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m., so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D, and my Anemone Friends tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.